So today I'm going to tell you a little bit more about the Honoring Nations program and share about the history of the award, a little bit about the eligibility and process for applying, and then we'll go through some of the most frequently asked questions, and then we'll have time at the end where you all can ask your questions live. You are also free to ask your questions in the chat, and my colleagues will help answer those throughout the program. Also, feel free to introduce yourself in the chat so we can know who's with us today. So a little bit of history about the Project on Indigenous Governance at Harvard. It has been around since 1987, and it has been a recognized leader in practical research, teaching, leadership development, policy analysis, and pro bono advising for Native communities. And from there, they created the Honoring Nations Award since 1999. Over 140 tribal programs from over 100 tribal nations have received an award through this program. This program specifically focuses on shining a light on excellence in tribal government. So this year, we'll be selecting 6 governance programs from across the American Indian and Alaska Native tribes, and they will receive international recognition as well as a monetary award. So up to 3 of these programs will be recognized with high honors and will receive a $5,000 award to share their stories, with potential to exhibit at the Smithsonian, and then the remaining awardees will receive a designation of honors and an award of $2,000. Awardees may also receive specially curated online multimedia exhibits through Google, case studies, and other curricular materials that are shared with tribal leaders, public servants, the media, scholars, students, and others interested in promoting and fostering excellence in tribal governance. So the topic areas that we look at are usually cultural affairs, education, government performance, intergovernmental relations, economic and community development, environment and natural resources, health and social services, and justice. But we know that the programs oftentimes encompass multiple different dimensions of these. And so we also accept programs that cover multiple topics within these categories. So who's eligible for the award? Any partnerships between tribal governments and other entities are welcome to apply, and multiple applications from single Indian nations are also encouraged to apply. The only real rule around that is that the program must have been in operation for at least a year as of January 29, 2025, and it needs to be run by the tribal government. They need to have the leadership role within that. Megan, I don't know if you want to speak any additional details here for eligibility.
No, I think that's correct. The application, because it's an award in good governance, good tribal governance, it does need to be submitted by a tribal government.
Perfect. Thank you. And so within our applications, we're looking for 5 main criteria: significance to tribal sovereignty, overall effectiveness of the program, cultural relevance of the program, transferability, which means other tribes would maybe potentially be able to apply the ideas that you've created in your program, and then sustainability. And so within the application, we'll have sub-questions for each of these topics where you'll describe a little bit more about how these apply to your program. So the overall process, the first round of applications, which we are now soliciting, is open, and it will close on January 25th, 2025. And so within that, we'll be accepting all of your applications. We'll review them for eligibility. And then from there, we'll go into a round of reviews with our project staff and support. We'll look at all of those, and then from there select 18 applications who will advance to the semifinalist round. And so those applicants would potentially receive additional questions, as well as be requested to provide a support letter from one of your tribal leaders. And then that piece would be due by March 31st of next year. And then from there, we will have 6 applications that will advance to the site visit round, where we will come and visit your programs in person and learn more about your work. And then those will take place over the summer of next year. And from there, we will deliberate with our Board of Governors during the NCAI meeting sometime in fall 2025, and then we would announce the winners at that meeting. All right, so that's the information so far. I'll give you guys a minute to digest. Thank you to those of you who have introduced yourself in the chat. And now we are welcome to take any questions that you might have. Feel free to either put them in the chat or come off of mute. To my colleagues, did anything come in through the Q&A box during the presentation? Oh, and there was a presentation typo. So the deadline application is actually the 29th. So I'll make sure to update the materials before I send them out to you after this call. But yeah, we will send the recording out to you as well as the presentation materials so you can share them with your colleagues who might also be interested in helping fill out an application or maybe applying with their own program.
Hi, this is Jody Bloom from the Samish Indian Nation. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Thank you so much.
Hi. I was just curious if you could tell me about how much time you'd anticipate the first application taking a tribe.
Yeah, I think Megan, I'll pass that to you.
Yeah, so the first round of the application is really set up much like an executive summary. So it's intentionally designed to be short, to really get you to sort of write down in just a couple paragraphs what the challenge is, what your solution is, and then how it applies to our evaluation criteria, which is what Jael went over before, the significance to sovereignty, the effectiveness, transferability, sustainability, and cultural relevance. And so we hope it doesn't take you too long. Honestly, it's again designed not to gobble up too much of your day. So maybe a couple hours max. We do ask that before it's submitted that you have the approval of whoever the departmental head is, whatever authority that is. So sometimes that might take a day or two, depending on the department or the tribe. But just we hope it just will take maybe a couple hours.
Yeah, and the online application itself does save your answers, so you're able to leave and come back. So if you only want to work on a small piece at a time, that's also possible to do.
And if you ever have a question sort of as you're in the application writing it, we're happy to give feedback as you go.
Thank you so much for that question. Are there any other questions?
I guess I have one follow-up question, if it's okay.
Yeah, totally.
So is this more aimed at one project then, or a department as a whole?
Yeah, Megan, I think I'll pass that one to you as well.
Yeah, so it's the answer isn't a clear one. It sort of depends. So in the past, we have awarded, for example, Katsubu, we awarded their environmental department for their work that they were doing specifically to sort of reclaim their sovereignty on the projects that are happening in their region. If there is a specific program within the department that one you're really proud of, and two you think other tribal nations and other local governments can really learn from, that application with that program alone would be very strong. So it could be one of those things where if you're grappling with, do we put forth the whole department or this program, it could be just a quick call to us to chat about it, and we can help you with that question.
Awesome, thank you. Are there any other questions? And I'll also drop my email in the chat. I'll be following up with you all via email after this with the materials, but just so you have it in case you think of a question later that you want to ask.
And also, if you're ever interested in sort of taking a peek at the other programs that we've awarded before, as Giles said, we've awarded 142 programs from over 100 tribal nations. They're all on our website. You can get a sense of the program areas and the topics and sort of the lessons that are gleaned from this incredible work from all of Indian country. So if that's useful, our website is really a huge resource.
Awesome. And I'll be sure to include that link as well in the email so that they can easily click on that. Awesome. I'll give it about one more minute if there are any last minute questions. But until then, thank you all. Oh, perfect. All right. Next question is, how many tribes received the invite to participate for this round? So we're still in the process of outreach currently, but we have reached out to, I think, over 300 different tribal communities at this point for different programs. Our team is doing research into what the programs are that are out there currently, and then reaching out once we identify contact information for them.
All tribal nations are invited to apply. You know, over the course of the year, we receive nominations from lots of different people. Sometimes former awardees will send in nominations for programs that they come across. We have an incredible board of governors who guides the evaluation process, and then a team of sort of affiliates that help us with both the evaluation process and the site visits. And oftentimes they've got their ear to the ground to learn about the amazing work that tribes are doing every day to solve universal problems. And so so it's open to all tribal nations, and yeah, we're looking forward to learning what's happening in Indian country.
Thank you for all these great questions. This has been really helpful. And like I said before, if there are any other questions that you have after the call, feel free to reach out to me and I'll be sure to connect you with the right resources. I'll send out this recording, I'll send out the slides, and I'll send the link to our website with former winners as well, so you can get a sense of the materials there. And then, like Megan mentioned, if you have any questions during the application process or you want feedback on your answers, we're also happy to provide that. Thank you all again for joining me today, and I hope that you all have a great rest of your week.